Hey y'all, welcome to I Died Near Death Experiences. I'm Lisa, and we just had the premiere. So, hey Suzanne, welcome, welcome. I'm making jewelry as we chat. I see you. I see you too. One of our good friends, Adrienne, is having a premiere right now herself, which I suspect is where everyone is. Um, but people will tune in later. So, what did you think of that was my big story. The whole reason I created this channel was that experience because of the universal message of love and care. And that doesn't matter what religion you call yourself, that's a human thing. And God only cares about how we treat each other and how we're taking care of his creation, which is the earth, and how all life is connected. That's my message. So, did you see all of it, or did you bleep out for a minute? Because I saw you disappear. I thought, um, and I was like, oh no, because we've had power off and on here all afternoon, and I'm like, maybe she crashed. Hey Suzanne, how are you? Turn that off, baby.
Well, should be coming through my earphone.
It's touching. Did it move you emotionally? You had made a comment, Suzanne, on people with metformin that didn't do well on the medication. Is anybody who had the really bad reaction that I did? I was listening. I only missed the first minute, maybe. Yeah, it's kind of a comedy of errors. I was tempted to re-record it with all the interruptions I had and distractions. So what do you think? Should I re-record it, or do you think it's fine the way it was? Any feelings? Darlene ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis. Pancreatitis is really common with diabetics because, of course, it's the pancreas that fails us, right?
I don't know.
Did she recover? Did they blame it on the metformin and she was able to recover her strength? I hope. Because, pancreatitis is really painful. Not everyone makes it out of it.
Which of these is the one I should be clicking on?
Yeah. So,
Sharks.
It's kind of. Hey, Nikki, you missed the premiere. It's this story that I told was the reason I made this channel. And as we chatting here right now, I'm making jewelry.
I have no idea where you're at.
Ended up on insulin, yeah. Well, same here. They told me they'd wean me off the insulin, and they didn't. So it's kind of sad but true that every major health problem I have is the result of a doctor putting me on some sort of medication in a let's try this mode. Not because I needed it, but they wanted to try it on me. So I don't think anybody should allow a medical professional to try something that it hasn't been proved or on the market. So when I get these advertisements that say come be a part of our clinical trials, I'm like, hell no. It almost killed me. There's Charlie Harley.
Hey,
Um,
trying to figure out where you're at, but I guess maybe I'm in the wrong spot.
he's trying to figure out where we are because on his computer, this is delayed, right? Nikki says, hi, Charlie.
Hey,
Yeah, hey.
you're on our Georgia Suburban Homestead, right?
No, I'm on I Died,
Uh,
my other channel. You know how to do that? Do I need to email you the link? So, Nikki, were you over at Adrian's premiere? Maybe that's where everyone is. They don't like me because I'm a non-compliant patient. If it doesn't work like it's supposed to do, I won't take it. Well, now my question is, yeah, well, the first thing that happened in the early 90s, or the late 80s rather, after I had a stillbirth, my gynecologist, or OBGYN rather, says to me, you're getting kind of old. I was like 27 and 26 or 27. And he says, let me put you on fertility drugs and because we got to get you pregnant or it ain't going to happen. So he put me on metformin, and I said to him, not metformin, what am I thinking? Clomid. And I said to him, I heard that you gain a lot of weight on that particular drug. And my mother had told me, don't ever let them mess with your hormones. You'll be sorry. And I didn't listen. Your fertility goes down after 29 or 30, though. So he put me on Clomid, and he said, be prepared to gain some weight, but you'll be pregnant within the first couple of months, and the weight will go to the baby. And if you have twins in your family, which I do, be prepared to have twins. So I said, what could 3 months be, right? So I went on it, and in 6 months, I went from a size 10 to a size 24. I mean, it's like a doctor had pumped me up with a tire pump. Well, with that rapid weight gain, I developed the diabetes. And I began a struggle with my weight that, has lasted until today. So that was one specialist that, because he wanted to try a medication, the way my body reacted, I developed the diabetes. And then the second doctor who wanted to try medication put me on the Actos and metformin, and it killed me. But had I not had this near-death experience, I would not have the appreciation for life that I have today. And to say it was life-changing, it's kind of strange because, of course, it is. You died, you silly thing. But the revelations that came to me, that what God told me, totally changed my outlook, my whole vision of the divine, my understanding of the divine, my understanding of His message, my relationship with all life around me, and it totally altered my whole approach to living. Your hormones are all over the place. Have you ever been on medication that altered your hormones? and premenopause. Yes, you'll have to listen to the story, Nikki. Kind of wish you'd been there because I would have loved to had your reaction as I was telling it, but can't always have Christmas every day, right? Where's my other thing? These, believe it or not, this is going to be earrings.
Oh, come on.
Charlie's over there talking to his machine again. So, I don't know. Suzanne, what can you tell Nikki about my story? What did you... Give me your thoughts and reactions to my tale of tales there. What do you think about what I found out? Nikki, have you ever had a near-death experience? Been busy most of the day and evening. I'm pooped. Yeah, we've hopefully Suzanne will answer here in a second, but we're having an interesting time. We put together some mushroom logs. And we're selling shiitake mushroom logs and oyster mushroom logs. And I decided to advertise them on Marketplace, thinking that, maybe one or two people would buy them. But man, we've been people knocking down the door to the point that we don't have a whole lot left to bring to the markets. Our first market, street market, will be when, Charlie? The 14th of next month. That we had to order a new spawn and just got a load of wood in. So that I'm pooped too, dealing with the public. So don't mess with your hormones, Nikki. You'll end up like me. Okay, so Suzanne says, you talk about how your near-death experience changed your whole life perspective on life. Well, what do you think about my message, Suzanne, that we're all connected? Have you ever felt, Nikki and Suzanne, have you felt that you were connected to other humans or even other life forms like plants and animals? Have you ever felt that electricity vibe? Some people call it a vibe. So let's talk about vibes. I know I know we've all, especially women, pick up on vibes. When you meet someone, you're instantly attracted to someone, you want to go talk to them. Or you're instantly repelled by someone, you look at them and I don't want anything to do with that person or that dog or that cat. Have you ever had that connection? If you're a parent, you get the vibe that your kid needs you. They're in another room or even at school, whatever, and you just get this feeling that something's happened and you need to get to them. Ever felt that connection? Repelled, yes, that happened. I later heard the guy was a pedo. Yeah. When I was a reporter, I was at a car dealership in Delray Beach, Florida, reporting on a new tech school that they had opened up in the back of the dealership where they were teaching Haitian kids a trade on how to, the trade of car mechanic, teaching them how to fix cars. And while I was interviewing the owner of the dealership, there was a kind of a stairway over behind. We were on one stairway. It was like a U with a second floor with two stairways that came down, and we were on this stairway. And on that stairway, a guy and two salesmen were going down the stairs, and the guy turned and looked at me, and all my hair stood up. And I had this just foreboding that it was just pure evil. I mean, pure evil. And he kind of watched me as he walked down the stairs and out of the building, and then turned and looked back at me. And I just got chill bumps. Hey, David, welcome. You'll have to catch my story on replay. I hope you enjoy it. Very serious topic, of course. But I later found out that he had killed somebody. He was a murderer. He went to prison. When he was arrested and whatever, and his picture was in the newspaper, I'm like, that's that guy that was in the dealership. So yes, we are all connected. One of my next stories I'm going to tell is the connection that I have with animals, and tie that into the death of my mother. So I hope that sounds interesting to you. It's going to be a quick story. I'm going to try to look on the internet and find similar stories to tie it together. So that premiere is longer than 5 minutes. It'll take me to tell that story. But that's a teaser for the next time, okay? So how's it going, David? What you up to? What are you up to, my friend? Aminals, yep. Animals. Gotta love them. Is that gonna work? No. Just trying to keep it together. I hear you, hon. You having a rough time? Nikki, you've got dogs. You ever look them in the eye and feel like you're talking? That you're reading each other and you really are communicating? If you're wondering what I'm doing as I wait for you to respond, I'm making earrings. So who here has had a connection with a creature? Can you tell me about it? So are you okay, David? Do we need to talk through email? You don't have that type of connection. That's too bad. I bet you do. I bet your dogs are reaching out to you, Nikki. Let's see if we can get you to tune in and see what they have to say. So Suzanne, she suffered through the whole story with me. Suzanne, what is your main takeaway? What did you find most interesting or shocking about my story? Is there anything that struck you? And they love attention. Yeah. All dogs love attention. As you'll notice in my premiere, as I'm trying to tell this very serious story, Bamsy got a hold of a squeaky toy. Disrupted the whole thing. Hey, don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me, okay? And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you get your notifications. And I'll try to get better about putting my heads up out, my announcements out with more of a leadway than just today. So any questions? Questions or reactions? I'm met with silence. Silence of the Lambs. Did y'all see that movie? Jodie Foster, I loved her. Loved her in it. So, okay. Very good observation. Suzanne, my friend. The similarity to the NDE story another person told me was eerie, maybe. Yes. I didn't share this story with many people other than my husband after it happened because I thought everyone would tell me I was out of my mind. And I didn't need that kind of negative reinforcement. And then I found a support group actually on Facebook. It's very active where people are telling their stories, and most of our stories are identical, and which I found interesting. And then I started opening up and sharing the story with people that I felt needed to hear my message. And I've moved some people to tears. Some people got very clingy and grabbed me and sobbed on my shoulder. But most recently, a gentleman who goes to these mosques that we go to, he's also just finishing his residency. He's going to be a family doctor, family physician. He asked me about it, and I told him the story, and he got very, very serious, very quiet. And he says, your story is identical to the stories that I've heard from other people who had the experience. He goes, it's got to be real. It's got to be real. Please share it. And I probably should have told him that we were doing this tonight because I know he would have shown up if he wasn't busy. They have support groups for that. Yes, they do. The support groups are there to help us so we don't feel like we're the only people on earth that had this experience. And you really, it grabs you deep down in your soul. I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. It grabs you deep down in your soul. And because of what we're told in our modern lives, that these things are just weird brain activity as your brain starts to die and all the things that science tries to tell us. And it's not. It's real. So you get scared to share. But you start sharing it like I did over the years, and you'll find you'll be embraced by most of the people you speak to. And a lot of them are physicians who witness this type of thing in their patients that die and come back. And they know that you flatlined. I was gone. And I did have some brain damage. My memory was damaged. But it's like it happened yesterday. And the main thing I want to do by sharing this is not only to get you to tune into the world around you and people and plants and animals, but to not fear death. Don't fear death. It'll be the most loving, comforting experience that you'll have. And also, if you feel like your your loved one is there with you, like looking over your shoulder, or that is there with you. They are. I promise you. It's like a part of the story when I talked about visiting Charlie while I was dead and seeing what he was doing. That shook him too, didn't it, Charlie? Do you remember when I told you about that and you came to my ICU room? You kind of, it hit him deep as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so before my mom passed, she kept calling my cat Cooper when she knew his name was Johnny. A few months after she passed, Johnny fathered her little kittens, and I named one Cooper. Now I feel that. Cooper is my connection to my mother. That's fine, David. I don't know if we're able to fly, but we're able to understand a lot more. You'll find yourself saying, darn, I wish I knew that when I was still breathing. Because we waste so much time on trivial things. We waste so much time being bad to each other and the things we need to be caring for and not shunning. Yeah, I know, Don't Feel the Reaper. I like that song. So I hope my story inspires you. I hope it comforts you. I hope it gets you thinking about the next step. I hope it gets you thinking about your relationship right now with not only the people who are closest to you in your life, but next time you're in your garden, since a lot of the people that are in here are gardeners and know me through the homesteading channel, we'll understand some of our positions on the type of chaotic gardening that we do, why we don't use poisons, and why I get so upset when some of our friends talk about hunting and just killing things, and what a good shot they are killing things that they don't really need to be killing. It is really, I get totally disrupted, and it's because of my near-death experience and my depth of understanding other life and how we should be relating to it. So you'll understand me more. And I've gotten so, instead of saying something in those live broadcasts where people are talking about it, I just leave. And that's progress for me, right, Nikki? So instead of confronting the person, I leave because I can't handle it. So that's my thing. That's my shtick. I hope you all enjoyed my rambling on here in the live broadcast. I really, really think that once you listen to my story, I hope you do go back and watch it. It's just like half an hour. That maybe during the next chat I have, the live chat, and you'll have some questions or some input. I got something crawling on me. Oh, it's a little ant. I'm attracting ants, Charlie. So, Suzanne says, yes, I sometimes have to exit lives. I can relate. Yeah. I got to reposition. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yeah, so, anyway, what are y'all doing this weekend? I'll let you know what we're doing. Maybe you'll get a kick out of it. It's the earring I made while we were chatting just now. I'm getting good at this. I went in to talk to the HR person at the store I work at about coming back to work. And I brought my rings with me that I've been making. She bought one. So she liked it. Anyway, so what are we doing this weekend? Thank you, Nikki. How am I healing from my last procedure? Well, I thought until yesterday I was doing really well, but I've got some, hopefully not a problem developing again, because if I do have a problem developing, I'll be out of work because I'll need surgery. So pray for me if you would. But there, every year in Atlanta, they have this conference called Dragon Con. And it's evidently quite a thing. People come in from all over the country and some from out of the country to go to this conference. And I'm not really quite sure exactly what all the classes are at, or whether it's a bunch of goth people or people in costumes and into dinosaurs and dragons and fairy tales. But there's a lady who has done a lot of the YouTube tutorial videos on wire wrapping that I've been watching, who is coming to Dragon Con. And so, I mean, it's expensive to get in, and we went ahead and bought 2 tickets for tomorrow. So I get to go meet Yvonne at Back to Earth Creations to see what she's brought. And this conference, it costs like $3,000 or $4,000 for a booth, a vendor booth. So she's got to be making pretty good money to be able to afford to vend at this thing. So I'll go meet her, see what she's made, get some inspiration for my own booth. That's we're going back into the market on the 14th, and hopefully have a good time. It'll be a real test to see how much walking around I can do. I don't know if we'll bring my walker or not. What do you think, Charlie? Yeah, how are you going to cook it, Dave? Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. Yes, the sale. Yeah, my HR person, she saw the rings I was making with freshwater pearls. And she goes, I want one. And she picked one out that actually was one of my first rings that I'd made a mistake on. I couldn't get the twisty twirlies right. I ended up, instead of with 2 twirlies, I ended up with 3 in a row. So I connected a seed bead, which are these. Can you see them? Are they in focus? And when she put it on, it looked kind of elegant on her hand. So I sold that one to her. So they Yoder meat and cheese. Is it the meat tender, or do you get some tough stuff? Do you flavor it with a rub? Don't buy it up. How much is an average order, David? And do they sell halal meat? I'm going to click on that. I'll click on that. Oh, dear. Let's see. It's all beef. Oh, beef, chicken, buffalo, smoked meats, other meats. Goat, lamb, veal, turkey. I love this locally raised thing. They're not local to me. That's not local. Buffalo. Recipes even. So I guess I need to click on something before it'll tell me how much it is. Let's see. No buffalo burger. I'm not seeing any prices. Grain fed, grass fed. Still not seeing any prices. Make some pretty interesting claims there, David. It says you're less likely to have a heart attack if you eat their beef. I think that's kind of a red flag. Let's see. On the grill. Just salt and pepper? $6.50 a pound for the hamburger. That's not too bad. A 200 pounds of meat, David, ought to last you quite a while, huh? Is everyone shopping? Oh, so I guess you have to subscribe before they'll tell you how much it is, huh? Well, we're way off topic. So I want to thank you all for coming in and for keeping me company. And please watch the premiere so you hear my story. It's the whole purpose of this channel is sharing the story I shared tonight. And I'm hoping that people will start coming and sharing their stories. My initial broadcast, we had some people who I didn't know show up. And I haven't seen them back, although I know they've been back to see the others. But I'm hoping to create a safe space for us to talk about things that you may not feel comfortable talking other places talking about. So once a month, maybe I need to do more often than once a month. But I've got the other channel, right? So join me on Our Georgia Suburban Homestead for homesteading tips, gardening tips, recipes, crafts. I'm just still building that pizza oven. And we've got one more project after that to share. So if you're into that type of thing, Our Georgia Suburban Homestead. And then join me here once a month, aiming at the last Thursday for each month, to share a story of the paranormal or connections to the divine. Everyone's welcome. Again, if you go back and listen to my story that led into this live broadcast tonight, you'll understand how it's all connected. Okay? So thank you again for coming, and hopefully we'll see you on the other channel and on this one in about a month. Okay? I love you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your support. Night.